With more than 90 years of experience, Reyco Granning has dedicated thousands of hours engineering and testing our suspension products. The ComfortMaster was no exception. With nearly $2 million invested in this next-generation independent front suspension, we have developed a world-class system for the motor coach industry. ComfortMaster provides increased maneuverability, improved driver confidence, and overall passenger comfort and safety. Let's see what real coach owners have to say about the performance of this next-generation independent front suspension.
My confidence in the equipment was extremely high as the longer I got to use it. When I first got in, I noticed the turn radius was extremely sharp.
It was a solid feel, and the turning was very smooth, and the turning radius was excellent compared to what we're driving.
The ComfortMaster system was very smooth, and it was a lot more responsive.
It's, to me, a very stable platform. I had a semi pass me while I was out on the interstate, and the vehicle did not drift.
I was more confident and felt that I had more control over the rig itself.
It didn't roll or dip in the dips like some coaches do, so I felt safe and satisfied with it.
I know in hours, it's like he is constantly having to shift the steering wheel. I have driven a couple of times, and that's my biggest complaint about it, is how much I have to control the wheel, and it makes my arms tired. But it just seemed like he had to exert a lot less effort to handle this one.
I do feel that the ComfortMaster system would be a lot smoother and easier to drive over long distances. Currently, I would only drive like 300 to 400 miles a day in the rig I have, because it just wears you out through the day. And this was a lot easier, it felt like.
Well, the ComfortMaster would allow, I think, anybody to drive for as long as they physically could take it. So 400 or 500 miles would not be a problem.
No, my rig wears me out a lot more during the day, because it pulls and pushes you. And when you hit bumps or some other rig passes you, it's always constantly pulling and pushing you around. And even though my rig is only 31 foot long and I pull a small car behind it, this felt a lot smoother.
In all reality, I think I could drive this coach or this steering system and ride system probably a good 8 hours and feel very comfortable when I get there. Right now, when I drive mine for 8 hours, I am not comfortable when I get there, and I don't feel real good when I get there. So to me would seem like it would make a lot of difference in my attitude when I get to where I'm going.
I believe this unit would be a lot easier to move around in a tighter area, because it seemed to turn in a really short radius compared to what I have now.
Well, the ComfortMaster with the extra sharp turning radius would be a definite advantage, particularly to my wife, because she usually backs up and parks the coach. But a lot of the campgrounds are old, and they're not designed for as larger vehicles as we have now. So anytime you can turn a little sharper and things, it makes a big difference. It makes it a lot more livable.
I've had tight areas, especially going into gas stations, trying to get gas, because finding something where a 30, 40 foot rig can fit into and you can get back out is sometimes very challenging.
The maneuverability in a campground, to me, would be a lot easier, yes. If you had to get into a place, this one does have the radius of the turn to make it a lot easier to get into places.
Being able to turn sharper, just to get around corners or parking lots, islands in Kmart or whatever it is a big advantage.
Again, I noticed a difference in the turning radius. We live on a cul-de-sac, and so when we go to get our RV out of storage and bring it to the house to get ready to load, he has to make about a 6-point turn with other people's driveways at the end of the cul-de-sac to get ours turned around. He turned it around in the cul-de-sac here at the plant today, Well, he could turn it tighter than driving hours in our cul-de-sac. He said he may have had to back up once just to make it work. So that's a huge improvement over what we have.
Well, the test drive that we took with the ComfortMaster on the Allegro bus, we took a little bit of a tortuous path through town, around corners, up and down hills, on some interstate at 70 mile an hour, and some sharp turns. We had a sharp 180 turn getting back, so all those things stressed the suspension in various different ways that it performed well in all of them. Again, it was a solid feel.
I was impressed doing the 180 turn off the road to the access road. That I would have said, no, you can't do that otherwise. But with the ComfortMaster, it seemed to impressively handle that.
We were making turns at several intersections, entering and exiting a 4-lane highway, and then turning in a very tight radius around a truck station. So, all of that was really a lot easier than what I thought it would be.
It got around quicker than I thought it was going to, so it kind of made me realize how fast it does turn. The ride, once you get it out on the highway, was very smooth, very controlled, no sway that I felt whatsoever. And I enjoyed the drive of it. And even on the secondary roads that we traveled on, there was not rough. The roads weren't rough, but I didn't feel hardly anything at all through the chassis. I would be very interested in the ComfortMaster system.
I would have no problems owning a coach with the ComfortMaster the way it performed on our test drive. So, in fact, I would almost demand that. We are in a situation where we would not really looking at the cheapest coach, but the coach that performs the best, and driving is a big part of that because you do a lot of driving with the coach.
I would be very interested in having a system like that on ours, so that I could take some of the stress off of him driving and I could drive longer periods of time.
If we could convert mine, I would be very happy, I think, yes.
When selecting your next coach, remember Reyco Granning. Built by our family, for your family.